am taking your orders to make sure that we can start the official proceedings and the live stream of this event at exactly 12 o'clock. So yeah, please enjoy a nice glass of wine. And just some house rules that I'd like to share. Please set your cell phone to silent. Don't put it off. You need to tweet and X and Facebook and Instagram and everything. Thank you very much. The bathroom facilities are to the left of the exit. I'm sure you will find that. Lunch will be served at 13:15. Yeah, and please don't leave before dessert is served. It is not to be missed. I will see you in about 10 minutes for the official start. Thank you.
Can I get you some wine? Yes, please. The white is what the sun was like.
Ladies and gentlemen, dames en here, manene en manenekatsi, molweni, goeiemôre, good morning. Wamkelekile, welcome at the 2024 Agricultural Research Council National Master Dairyman Awards. My name is Isabel Joubert Botha, and I will be your MC for the day, which is a great honor as I've been involved with this event since 2017. And thanks to you, I now know my jerseys from my Holsteins and my Ayrshires. Today, we are live streaming this event. A special word of welcome to everyone joining us online. And I would like to ask you to please share today's good news with the rest of the world. You can use the hashtag ARC Master Dairyman Awards as on your program. To start off our event, we have a special moment, as it has become quite a tradition for a Member of Parliament to open with prayer. We thank Noku Masipa, who will join us for this special moment. Thank you, Noku.
Good, is it morning or afternoon? Good afternoon. I don't have my time with me. When I committed the first time, I didn't know that this is going to be a tradition. But anyway, I understand that it's a tradition now that a Member of Parliament must open. Without further really ado, I must really appreciate the farmers that are here, and obviously the industry players and the ARC, which is our government that is custodian of this program. Really, thank you very much. So without really further ado, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes so that we can pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity that we can be here today to celebrate our farmers, who are really the ones that are producing milk, from young age, from a baby stage to an adult age, everyone uses milk. So we just really want to thank you, God, for the opportunity that we have to celebrate this work of these farmers, the work that they are doing to ensure that, South Africa is food secured when it comes to milk. We just want to really also pray for those farmers that are struggling out there. We know that this is a very, very difficult industry, that many of our farmers are struggling, and we pray that you bring them rain, those that are in need of rain, so that they can be able to sustain their livestock. And we pray that this program go well. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you very much, Noko. Next, to officially open the ARC Master Dairyman Awards, we invite Dr. Lita Maginka, President and CEO of the Agricultural Research Council, to the stage. Please give him a warm welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was just making an observation to Mr. Masipa and asking a question, why don't we clap for a prayer? And we clap afterwards. Because sometimes we have to acknowledge good things. It sets a good scene and it sets the tone for the proceedings of the day. And it's a job well done. Before I start, maybe a little bit on the protocol. My name is Lita Maginga. I'm the CEO of the ARC, as introduced. I would like to acknowledge just a few people before I share a few things from the ARC to make all of us welcome for today. From the Directorate of Animal Production, from the National Department, I haven't seen the representative. Just want to check if he is in the room. We also have representatives from the Provincial Department, Western Cape Department of Agriculture, and of course, Mr. Masipa, who just left the stage, who is a member of a member of Parliament and chair of the Standing Committee for Agriculture in the Western Cape Legislature. From the ARC side, we have our chairperson of the council, Ms. Joanne Isaacs. To my left, we have Dr. Andrew Magadlela, who is the executive manager responsible for animal sciences and biotechnology. At the same table, Professor Norman Maiwasha, sitting across from him, who is responsible for animal production, the campus that does most of the work that we are talking about here today. Professor Bongani Ndimba, to the other side with a blue shirt, is our head of the Stellenbosch campus of the ARC, where we do anything but animal production. So that's where most of the deciduous fruit work is being conducted, and of course some wine-related research. And we are happy to have him with us here today, and maybe he gets inspired to start something similar in his industry. Of course, we have our strategic partners, and I think it's good that I start with Agri-Expo, who are helping us and playing a very big role in helping us host this event. Mr. Brayton Milford, who is also the general manager of Agri-Expo, and we have some board members here, and of course some members of staff from Agri-Expo. You are all being acknowledged. Mr. Yanis Stradom, who is the chief executive of Agri-Western Cape, the regional manager for the Milk Producers Organization, Liz Marie Dutoy. Of course, these kind of events don't work very well if you don't have the support of sponsors. And we have Nedbank, Nova Seeds, Worldwide Sires, CIMEX, Meadow Feeds, Communique, Exiota, Ecolab, and of course, Driven Events. And to all of you, we are extremely grateful for your support. I have, of course, an obligation to mention the organizing committee as a whole, which is led by Mr. Hendrik de Waal of the ARC and his team. We have members of the media. We have finalists of the 2024 ARC Master Dairyman Awards. And to all of you ladies and gentlemen present, thank you very much for being part of today and joining us in this event. And of course, there is something particularly special about today in the sense that I think, and we were talking about it with Professor Maiwasha earlier, it's the first time since the COVID lockdown that we have all our finalists with us. So we have moved. We've had these events before, but today we are very pleased to have all of the finalists attending in person in a very long time. So that's something to really be thankful for. I'm aware that dairy farmers spend almost all of their time at their farms. But I think it's It's not a bad thing once in a while to step out and get closer to the bright lights, especially for something that is going to acknowledge some of the hard work that they do in their space. Our dairy farmers go beyond the call of duty, and their efforts to provide our nation with much needed dairy products that strongly support food security at both national and household level cannot be acknowledged enough. The ability of our dairy industry to meet societal needs for nutritious and safe dairy products is entirely dependent on continuous genetic improvement of our national herd. And that's something we have to continue focusing on. For this work, the ARC remains at the forefront of research and development to deliver on our national mandate to support the agriculture sector and dairy industry in line with our founding legislation and mandate, which flows from the Agriculture Research Act number 86 of 1990. The ARC was founded to conduct research, development, and technology transfer to promote agriculture, industry, and thereby contributing to the improvement of the quality of life of the people of the Republic, and having regard to the protection of the environment, of course, which is something that has to be always at the back of our minds. While the critical importance of agricultural research needs no further justification, we are, however, alive to the fact that the state remains constrained in its ability to fully service the need to invest in it. As such, we are forging innovative partnerships with all relevant stakeholders in the agricultural sector, especially industry and academia, to make sure that we continue to deliver on the research and development needs of our sector. I'm happy to inform you that the ARC is also in the process of developing its 2030 strategic plan. A similar process is also unfolding at the level of the department. And in fact, I don't know if any of the people in the room today were part of the process that was hosted by the minister a couple of weeks ago, which included members of the industry to look at what could this sector look like over the next 5 years. This exercise is also benefiting from a wide range of inputs we captured earlier this year as the ARC in our inaugural conference, which we hosted together with the department and a wide range of stakeholders, including various industry partners. We had about just over 1,000 participants during that time, where we captured several inputs to make sure that the work that we do as the Agricultural Research Council remains relevant in response to the needs of the sector. So I am looking forward to further engagement with the industry and all relevant stakeholders as we craft this new strategic path for the national agricultural research and development. One of our key priorities in the next 5 years is, of course, to modernize our research and development infrastructure so that we can respond timely and appropriately to the needs of the sector, particularly considering the advent of climate change, which has now become the most significant risk in agricultural production and projected to be at the top of the list by the World Economic Forum over the next decade. We have established a Center of Excellence on Climate Change to facilitate coordinated research and development in integrated crops and livestock production systems. Of course, today is about celebrating excellence among the best in our industry. Let me therefore not take the limelight from our industry, from our dairy farmers, as they indeed deserve all the accolades that they are going to get today. Lastly, please note that the ARC will remain a trusted partner for research and development to improve the national dairy herd through some of the services that we are responsible for, including the milk recording and improvement schemes. And let me also take this opportunity to congratulate all the finalists of the 2024 ARC Master Dairyman Awards. Congratulations and well done for getting to this stage. Thank you all. Baya danki, siyabonga, enkosi, kiyalebucha.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maginka. Last year, we introduced an exciting addition to the program, namely a panel discussion. And as this proved quite popular, this might become a tradition too. And we have once again put together a panel of specialists to bring you the latest insights in the world of dairy farming. This year's theme is sustainability and youth development. Sustainability means different things to different people. As a 20-year-old in 1996, when I bought this very dress that I'm wearing today for R2 second-hand, little did I know that vintage clothing will become fashionable for its role in promoting sustainability in a world of fast fashion consumerism. As Confucius said, if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If a plan is for 10 years, plant trees. And if your plan is for 100 years, educate children. I now introduce Brayton Mulford, General Manager of Agri-Expo, as the moderator of today's discussion panel. Thank you, Brayton.
Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, I just wanted to say you guys can give a round of applause for still having that dress after so many years. Thank you very much, Isabel. Honorary guests and friends of the ARC and the dairy industry, thank you for being here, and also to everyone joining us online. It's a huge honor for us to welcome everyone here today, but also online to award excellence within the dairy industry. So before we start with the panel, I just want to say a few things on behalf of myself and Hendrik de Waal, because as you know, Hendrik is nie 'n man van baie woorde nie. He doesn't say a lot of things, but he does a lot of work. So Hendrik, I think we can all give a round of applause for all the work that you put in. Then, as Dr. Lita said, without the partners of this event, we definitely will not be able to make it. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. Thank you to my board, council members, Leendert is here, Johan van der Merwe is here, for allowing Agri-Expo to be a part of the Master Dairyman Awards. Competitions is what we do, and I feel that it is one of the events that I'm very proud of that we are involved with. And I think me and Hendrik, we get together quite a lot because he stays in Durbanville. So when he comes from Stellenbosch home, he will stop with me at my office, and we will have a glass of wine or beer, and we will chat about the Master Dairyman Awards, you know. And then he will leave, and then he tells his wife that he works late. So, but our vision is the same. We want to make this one of the best events within the industry, and I think we are slowly but surely getting there, Hendrik. As Isabel said, last year we started a panel discussion, and I think the reason why me and Hendrik decided to start that is that we've got so many industry leaders here. Why don't we use them? We've got so many of the media here. Use them to ask a few questions to these panel members. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome on the stage Daniel Rousseau from Nedbank, Marguerite van Niekerk, who's a lecturer at Elsenburg, and then Prof. Norman Mawashi from the ARC. Let's give them a round of applause. So our theme for today is sustainable youth development, actually, and empowering the youth to develop this industry further. And I want to start with Prof. Norman there. I'm going to put you on the spot first, Prof. What are your take of young people coming into this sector, but especially researchers? What do you see? What is happening out there? Is there enough young people coming into the sector, specifically researchers?
Thank you very much, Brighton, and good afternoon to our delegates today. I think the question that you have asked is a very good question, more for so looking at the theme of this panel discussion, which is looking at the issues of sustainability and youth development. If you are to look closely, you will see that the doors of learning and education in agriculture have opened. Gone are the days when agriculture was relegated to be something that is dirty, something that you do when you haven't found your passion. So we're seeing a lot of young people that are coming into the fold. And I suspect this may be due to the fact that agriculture is becoming more attractive. It's no longer just about cows and mealies and so on, but it's also about the technology that is applied in the farm. If you just drive around looking at our wine farms, there's a lot of technology that is applied. So that is very much attractive to our youth. And I think we should be encouraged about that. Maybe one of the things that we need to be looking at is the sustainability part of it, to say, are they staying in the industry? And I think that is where a lot of work needs to be done. So I think we have done a good job of promoting agriculture. It's no longer relegated to be just one of those careers in the fringes. I think we have a lot more to offer. In fact, when I was in high school, agriculture was a by the way. It was not one of the main subjects. And then when you go into the mainstream agricultural sector, you realize that agriculture is much bigger than one would think of. If you think about your microbiology at school, you would think this was not part of agriculture. But when you go to the work environment, you realize that this is very much part of agriculture. Agriculture is no longer just the primary side of things. We also have the value addition side of things, which is very, very attracting and making it exciting. So I think these are exciting times. We just need to welcome these young people into the fold, but have the patience that is required to train young people.
Thank you very much, Prof. Mawasha. I think that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I remember many years ago, I think it was about 18 years ago, Ms. Isaacs, when I joined Agri-Expo. You were the HOD of the Western Cape Department of Agriculture. And you always said we should make agriculture sexy. And what Prof. Norman says now is that agriculture is sexy now. The doors have opened. And I think you are quite correct. There's a lot of people that want to enter the sector. We need to make them stay there. Daniel, you work with a lot of farmers. You travel a lot. You get to a lot of events like this, but also you get to farms a lot. Do the farmers do succession planning?
It's a difficult one to answer, Brighton. I think before I start, we tend to think that agriculture is just primary agriculture, but actually if you look at the total value chain and the opportunities within the value chain, it's immense. It's quite a big industry to get involved with. And if you look at the economic contribution of agriculture as a whole, it is way more than the growth of the total South African economy. So it's an industry that's actually performing over the long term. Yes, there's volatility, we've seen that. And that impacts, obviously, profitability as well. But coming back to, what farmers think and, around succession planning as well, what we see, and I think it's confirmed by stats from Agri-SA as well, a majority of our agricultural, let's talk about farming businesses, is still family-owned. either in a company or trust or, as sole props or whatever, but it's a family business. But the reality is that 80% of our family businesses in South Africa don't see a fourth generation. 3 generations, and then you get into problems. Now, it's not only agriculture, it's the rest of the economy as well. And then also, if you look at the total numbers of our farmers, the dairy industry is a very good example. The dairy industry lost half of its farmers over the course of 10 years. The rest of agriculture is not that bad, but we normally lose, over the course of 15 years, approximately 50% of our farmers. So it's an industry that's, from a person perspective, is shrinking, but the industry itself is growing. So now you talk about succession planning, and I think, to be totally honest, that's the one thing that we don't discuss as much as we should, unfortunately. We see it, Daniel sitting with me, part of my team, seeing actually a lot more farmers than me these days. But that's our biggest problem in terms of having 3 or 4 generations on a farm and not making provision for retirement or succession planning. And it is a problem, unfortunately, Brayton, we see that. Now, when you talk about sustainability, obviously, economic sustainability is perhaps the most important. We've got a lot of factors impacting agriculture, but if you look at the financial sustainability, that's where it sits from my perspective, yes.
Thank you, Daniel. Marguerite, if I can get to you now. You are a lecturer at Elsenburg. We met up with you a few weeks ago. We had a very good conversation about, getting young people involved in the sector. And my question to you is, do you think that the industry as a whole are doing enough to encourage young people to get into the industry?
Okay, firstly, I've been at Elsenburg for 10 years, and I just first want to give background what I've seen. The intake or the students that actually registered for the animal production program actually increased. So there's definitely interest in the large stock, however, mostly in the beef, cattle, and sheep. So the question is always, where are the young people that should enter the dairy industry? And I think it's extremely important that we get the industry also involved to give more exposure. As the prof said, how do we get young people interested? And I think technology, because they're all about artificial intelligence and social media, and I think giving students maybe exposure to that part would also make them more excited about this industry. Dairy farming, unfortunately, does have that stigma of long hours and maybe not the
Hard work, you can say it.
Getting
hard
up
work.
early, but I think our students maybe have different ideas, and I think it's a great idea to give them, to show them more the reality of the operations that's out there. At Elsenburg, we are very fortunate that we do have animals that we can give practical exposure, because Elsenburg is all about practical training, and we're lucky to have animals. But we still need more practical exposure, and I think that is very, very important. I think passion is lacking with the young people for the dairy industry. So this is where industry, if they can put up their hand and maybe let us in on their farms or giving us more exposure to that side would help immensely. Also the processing, even that can also help,
Daniel, when Nedbank and the MPO does the Stewardship Awards, and you've been part of that panel for many years, what do you see when you get to the farms, especially the young people? Do they embrace technology? Do they move forward? Is there a mind shift happening when young people enter?
Now, Brayton, just if you look at the participants and the winners over the last few years, all young people. That's really, really great. You can start with Chile in the Eastern Cape. We start his career as a farm worker, and through partnerships, he's now running 1,000+ dairy herd in the Eastern Cape. A young guy, really 30. Dean Beeks in the Eastern Cape. Neil Wilkin, the same. If you look at Kunrad Basson, who was also a participant last year. Young people, and they bring new technologies, they bring new ideas, I think, to the sector. And I think there's a lot to be learned from that, to be honest. So, participating in these type of competitions and sharing those best practices. If you just look at genomics as an example, how it's impacting the industry, in terms of production. If you look at the dairy industry, it's a game of margins. And unfortunately, that margins is getting smaller every year. So the only way that you can actually increase your profit is through technology and doing things differently. And I think that's where the new entrance into farming, sons coming to the farm, really add a lot of value. They say, I think it was Piet Kroukamp who said at one stage that if you look at the son, he starts riding in his dad's bakkie, where's Lisa Marie, and grow up and learning about agriculture from his father. But the day that you take over and you do the same things as what your father did, you're in big trouble. The pace of change, is exponential. And I think if you just look at what those participants and then winners bring to their communities as well, and I think sharing that best practice, it's definitely for the good of the industry.
Prof. Norman, I'm sure the ARC has some programs to involve young people within the industry. Do you have some of it? Is it working?
Yeah, we have quite a number of programs that are dedicated towards providing exposure to young people. And for today, I just want to categorize them into two groups. The first one is the one where we provide exposure in terms of a hands-on experience to your young graduates. And the second one is the professional development program, which is aimed at training future generation scientists. So in the first one, which is about work exposure, we bring into the fold around 40 young graduates on a yearly basis into our farmer support program. This is on-the-ground program where these kids have to go to farms, they have to work with animals and so on. And this program has worked very fantastic. What we have seen is that these kids come in 6 months down the line, they are ready to be absorbed by the industry. And we have seen that this pipeline has been working wonders. And we continue to do this. And it makes a huge difference because some of these kids will be sitting at home and doing nothing. And yet we have invested a lot as a country. So that part is working very well. What will be required is then innovative partnerships between the ARC and the industry to move from a pilot to a scale-up because we have more kids that needs exposure. The second one is the professional development program. And that one, I will try to be brief because when I start talking about it, I don't finish.
You're like a politician.
I am the product of that program. I joined the ARC more than around 25 years or so ago as a young, excited, energetic young man from the university. And I was brought into the fold to say, you're going to do your postgraduate studies all the way up to the highest level. And I was lucky that I found mentors in the ARC who taught me beyond what you would receive in a university. And that is professional development. This program has been running for more than 20 years. If you just go and look out in the industry and government and our sector at large, there is a lot of these young people that came through that program. And these are high-end skills that are required by the country. So that program has worked wonders, and it's being supported very well by our government, the National Department of Agriculture, and also by the Department of Science and Innovation. And we should look at how do we have partnerships with industry to do this. And one thing that I've picked up as I get a little more older and older is that there is no better investment than investing in the youth. Because when I look at it, when I came in and look at my mentor, I was thinking, these men gambled. They didn't know what was going to come out of it. But patience saw us through this. So I cannot emphasize enough the importance of investing in our youth, both just in the technical skill side and your high-end researchers. Just some 15 years ago, when genomics became an in thing, we didn't have the skills. Some of us were trained in quantitative genetics, and this required molecular genetics. So we had to start from scratch and train the young people who will understand these genomics. 15 years down the line, we have more than enough skills to be able to assist us as a sector to take this technology and apply it. So investment in skills and making sure that you do it in a sustainable manner is very, very important, but it takes resources and patience to be able to do that.
I totally agree with you there. Marguerite, what would you like to see happen? You are a young person yourself. You are a lecturer. You come from a dairy farm. What would you like to see happen within the industry so that we can get more young people involved?
Well, I'm thinking of programs. I'm just thinking now about, I don't know if you've heard of Just Milk SA. It's a program, I think Edgar Brotherton's and colleagues started it, which is very, very useful. It's just another stepping stone for our students, or for students after they've graduated, to get a practical year, and that's all from the industry side. And I think it's wonderful if more farmers can do something like that. Our students, we also in Elsenburg we have the work integrated learning part of the diploma, and they learn so much outside on farms. And I would love to see farmers reach out more and open up with that for our students to do that. Yeah. What else can I add to that? I just feel that the industry can help a bit more, and our young people can get more access on farms. Yeah.
Thank you, Marguerite. Is there any questions from the floor? I know we've got some media here. I see Duncan here from Food from Zanzi, Yihu. There's a lot of the media around here, but there's also some industry leaders here. Any questions? Now, I'll start with you, Noko, and then I'll move over to you, Prof. Ndimba. Mr. Masipa, if we can just give him a microphone, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Assistant. Okay. Thank you very much, Brayton, for facilitating this session. I think what is very important, and this is something that I've picked up, is that at university, I think we are producing enough PhDs, but are we getting them through to postdoctoral studies so that, they can become really fully fledged, researchers? As Danielle has said, that, you need some new technology, you need some advanced, research taking place to ensure that, the industry like this one really is challenged with small margin, but innovation is going to really be truly important to ensure that, it's able to compete, with some of the players out there in the market. And especially, the fact that, a number of them are coming out of farming because they cannot really sustain themselves. Thanks. I think the question is really about, are there really enough postdoctoral studies that we are really seeing from the students that we are producing with PhDs in South Africa especially? Thanks.
Prof. Norman, if you can maybe take that one, but I'll give Prof. No, it's fine. You can keep the microphone there, Prof. Ndimba. If you can ask your question, and then I'll let Dr. Maiwashe answer.
So, yeah, I just wanted to comment on the question that you asked first to Professor Maiwashe with regards to young people being attracted into agriculture. I do know that Elsenburg, historically most of the students will be sons and daughters. Well, in the past it was sons, and over time, then daughters were introduced into the agricultural college. And over time, it has become, not just white and students, but also, students that are black and coming from disadvantaged backgrounds have entered the sector. I think what I may ask is the step before that, the high schools. Do we have high schools that specialize in agricultural sciences? Deliberately, so that's a question. And if so, or if not, do we really need it? Because I think as a country and the population growing towards 2050, that the African continent will double in its population from the current 1 billion to 2 billion people by 2050. That is within some of our lifetime, those that are young enough. 30 years is not a long time. The National Development Plan of 2030, we're definitely not going to meet its targets of reducing or eliminating poverty. It's a question because agriculture is directly a feeder of the nation. Yes, you sons of current farmers are emigrating. What are we doing to reverse that emigration? What can we learn from China, for example, when it attracts its best skills from wherever they are to come and innovate? Lastly, in addition to what we are saying, there is a WIL, W-I-L, Work Integrated Learning, that we as the Institute in Technic Bay collaborate very well with CPUT. CPUT is the Central University of Technology, CPUT at Cape Provincial University. I don't want to call it kaput. But because I'm also assigned or aligned with the University of the Western Cape, we also, to spread the intake, also added on top of University of Stellenbosch being the key or central agricultural university, to get the University of the Western Cape also into this, because that's part of the sustainability. It also includes transformation and related future farmers, not just primary farmers, but smart farmers that will produce food for our nation. I know I did not ask a direct question, but it's more of a comment to add to your facilitated questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Ndemba. Prof. Norman?
Yeah, I think the question around the postdoctoral studies, this is high-end level where you expose the new doctoral graduates into the research environment so that they can be able to do their own work independently. This is an area that is by and large not heavily funded. The Department of Science and Innovation, which invests a lot in terms of human capital, is making headways into investing in this space. But this remains a very tricky space because the type of people that you attract into postgraduate training, at the end of the day, they are human beings. They still have to supply, to provide for their siblings and so on. So you can only take them so far. So by the time they get their doctoral degrees, the pressure is very high to say, go and work. We're not going to support you forever. So what needs to happen is that because of the importance of that part of the value chain, we need to invest properly. Researchers are not paid. So if we can't give them a proper living stipend, they will not be able to stay. And this risk is not only limited to that part of the value chain. Even when young people obtain their degrees, the pressure is so high. They have to go and work. And then we lose this talent. So investing, putting money, especially from the government side, it's very, very important. But I'm seeing that we're starting to have proper conversations around skills development, because we have been counting the number of doctoral graduates. Other countries have started counting these high-end resources. When you look at these countries that invest heavily and how their economy performs, you can see the reason why they perform at that level. And maybe just to touch on the points that were put on the table by Prof. Ndimba around what are we doing at the basic level, at the high school level in terms of agriculture. I think we are doing less than we were doing in the past. we were giving a lot of attention into promoting agriculture. And some of it was more about our way of life. If you look at agricultural shows, we were spoiled for choice. But there are very few of them now. And those were very important to get the young people excited. If you look at what the Americans do, your postgraduate students are still going out there, walking that little calf there, that little lamb, just to show that agriculture is about passion. Because that part you can only see it when you go out there. So I would encourage that our industry should set aside resources to look at how we promote agriculture. And this is even more important because most of the people live in the city. When we say we want to do some of these agricultural practices, they say it's a taboo because they've never been in a farm. So I think we need to be thinking about putting resources aside and joining hands to promote agriculture. When we had COVID, all the sectors of the economy were on their knees. It was only the farming sector that was able to provide for everybody and kept us safe.
Media, please quote this. We need more agricultural shows. Thank you. Is there any more questions? None. Okay. Then I think we can give a round of applause to our three panelists. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an honor to have you on stage. Baie dankie, Daniel. So I'm still going to stay here a little bit because also a few years ago we started something called an honorary award that is the ARC giving recognition to somebody that did a lot of work within the Master Dairyman space, but also in agriculture as a whole. And it actually started with Dr. Jackie de Tooy, because when he retired, we felt that we need to give him something because he was the founder of the Master Dairyman Awards. How many years ago was that? 15, 25, 12. Say maar hard. No, not when you retired, when you started the Master Dairyman Awards. More than 20 years ago, Dr. Jackie started that. And we said that, we'll have to give him recognition in some or other way. And after that, me and Hendrik and Dr. Jackie got together and Tinus and so on. And we said, listen, there's got to be more people that we need to say thank you to, or that the ARC needs to say thank you to. And it went on to Peter Pence, Senior, that did a lot of groundbreaking work within the genetics space. And from there last year, Tinus Viljoen got this award. So this year, this award will go to a man that started to work on his father's farm in 1972. And they started, and this almost sounds like these, what is nou die regte woord in Engels? So excuse me, the doctors and the professors, but when you come from Namaqualand, you switch to Afrikaans sometimes. This is like this motivational stories, where people say, he started with a few drops of rice and started his own business with that, But it really is almost a story like this. He started in 1972 with 6 cows when he got to the farm. 6 cows. And he started to develop pastures onto that farm. And he used a lot of mentors. We heard mentors coming out quite a few times now, that you should have mentors, especially when you're a young person. And he mentioned some of them. Prop van Vieren was one of them. Johan Bloemeris from the Outeniqua Research Council. Tesman Beyers from the ARC in those years. And in 1980, after he started his pastures in 1980, he upgraded his milking parlor. And he started, because before that they milked with hand, and then he started with a milk machine, ordentlike parlor. And then he also decided to focus on jerseys. And he said to me that his mentor, like once again, was a guy called MC Trieter, who was well known within the dairy business in the Southern Cape. He was known as Mr. Jersey at that stage, and he convinced him to start farming only with jerseys and good genetics. That's why he also started with AI in those years, in the 70s. He played a significant role in the industry, serving on the board of the MPO and the Milk Board, as it was called many years ago. He has been a loyal member and a friend of the RASC. He's been to this Master Dairyman Awards for many years. He's been a finalist for many years. And he's a brilliant farmer. He's somebody that the industry needs to cherish. And I think that we can give the 2024 ARC Master Dairyman Honorary Award to Mr. Jacques Tron of Berrydale. Jacques, baie geluk. I would like to, I do make mistakes sometimes, and this is one of them. I would like Ms. Joanne Isaacs and Dr. Lita, if you can just present Mr. Jacques Tron with his award. And Jacques, is net so bietjie kan vas staan. As ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause to Jacques Tron. Jacques, paar woorde.
Mense, ek is stom geslaan. Baie dankie. Wat 'n voorreg om te gedoen het wat ek gedoen het. MPO, Jakkie, julle ken ons, Pop van Vieren, hy naam genoem. Louis du Plessis wil ek hom ook noem, toe hy by Boesmans Rivier Koöperasie betrokke geraak het suiwel in die Suid-Kaap verander. So ek moet Louis se naam ook noem. Ons het goeie jare gehad, ons het agterskotte gekry Junie maand op Bonnievale, die hoteller het seker geniet daai tyd en dit het goed gegaan. Op die oomblik is ons 'n bietjie rig teen die muur, maar ons is boere, vorentoe sal weer beter gaan. Baie dankie.
Congratulations. We now move on to the highlight of the event, the award ceremony. And as you know, the ARC gives recognition to South Africa's top dairy farm achievers in 5 categories. For breeding genetically superior animals using performance recording and testing as tools. The categories are the ARC National Herd with the best intercalving period of the year for 2024, the ARC Herd with the best somatic cell count for the year, the ARC National Small Scale Master Dairyman of the year, the ARC National Medium Scale Master Dairyman of the Year, as well as the ARC National Large Scale Master Dairyman of the Year. We start with the ARC herd with the best intercalving period of the year for 2024. I would like to ask Wade Pringle of Worldwide Sires and Daniel Rousseau of Nedbank to award this prize. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2024 ARC herd with the best intercalving period of the year, with an intercalving period of only 391 days, is Heinrich Herter of Backward Farm. Heinrich Herter started farming on Backward Farm in the Plettenberg Bay, Knysna region 24 years ago. On this pasture farm, he milks 420 Jersey cows. Although dairy is the main farming operations, they also diversify with a vineyard and experiments with amarula bulbs. Amarula bulbs? Yeah. Well, thank you. Congratulations, Heinrich. We would like to ask you to share a few words with us. A man of little words, but yeah, congratulations, well deserved. Next up, we have the ARC herd with the best somatic cell count for the year. And I would like to ask Brayton Mulford of Agri-Expo and Matthew Cook from CEMEX to hand over this prize. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 ARC herd of the best somatic cell count for the year with a somatic cell count of 157,000 cells per milliliter goes to Etienne Zeeman. Before the dairy was established in 2002, Etienne Zeeman's Leeuwrivier farm in the Swellendam district was a wine, grape, fruit and vegetable farm. However, these branches were phased out and Zeeman decided to milk jerseys. Only Danish genetics were used from the beginning, and today Zeeman has a 100% grazing herd with no silage. Animals in milk are currently around 400, and numbers are slowly growing as grazing is improved. Ja, no, Zeeman. According to Zeeman, Leeuwrivier staff are the basis of the success of the farm. But congratulations, and we'd like you to share a few words with us.
Dis nie iets wat ek eintlik doen nie, maar ek wil my personeel wat dit moontlik maak bedank, want 'n melkery sê ek altyd soos 'n spansport. Die hele span moet saamwerk om die wedstryd te wen, en danksy my span wat agter my staan, kan ons doen wat daar gedoen word. Baie dankie.
Congratulations again, Etienne. Next, our first Dairyman Award, the ARC National Small Scale Master Dairyman of the Year. The criteria for evaluation, I won't read that. It's all in your brochure on the table. If you like to know more, yeah, please speak to the people at this table. They know all those. Good. The moment has arrived. But first, the finalist, the 2022 finalist for the ARC National Small Scale Master Dairyman of the Year. The 2024 finalists are Letselo PT and Gugulumutsi Ngobo. I ask Hendrik de Waal and Professor Norman Mawashe of the ARC to join us to present this award. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2024 ARC Small Scale Master Dairyman of the Year, with 115 cows in milk, producing 4,562 kilos of milk, a butterfat percentage of 4.02, a protein percentage of 3.38, and an intercalf period of 422 days, is Gugu Lumutsi Ngobo. Unfortunately, Mr. Ngobo cannot join us today, and we ask Dan Mutang of the ARC to accept the award on his behalf. So thank you very much. Gugulumutsi Ngobo is the owner of a dairy farm called Summerhill Farm, based in Donnybrook. Yes, in KZN. He is farming. He cannot join us. There is no time to leave that farm. Mr. Ngobo bought this farm in October 2002, and he started out with 6 cross-dairy cows, and he produced only 14 liters a day, milking only in the morning. In the beginning, he sold his milk only to local shops. Because of his love for the dairy, he continued buying milking cows and taking care of growing calves in order to increase his stocking rate. Today, he's milking up to 160 Holstein and Jersey cows, producing around 4,000 liters per day, and he sells milk to Creighton dairies. Congratulations in the absence of Gugulumutsi Ngobo. It is an honor. Next, we have the ARC National Medium Scale Master Dairyman of the Year for 2024. The 2024 finalists this year are J.F. Tron, Robertson Broers, and Tweekop Boerdery. Dion Engelbrecht of Nova Feeds and Dr. Andrew Magadlela of the ARC will join us on stage to hand over this award. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 ARC Medium Scale Master Dairyman of the Year, with 398 cows producing 5,920 kilos of milk, a butter fat percentage of 4.6, a protein percentage of 3.88, and an intercalving period of 398 days. Our winner is Pieter Steenkamp of Tweekop Boerdery. Now, you would know that Pieter Steenkamp is part of a team, quite a big team, and we congratulate the whole team on behalf of the ARC. Tweekop Boerdery was established in 2014 when Dirk van Papendorp and Arno Steenkamp decided to combine their farms. In 2018, a third partner, please stay with us, don't leave, we need a few words. I don't know everything about your farm, I can't share everything. Well, so in 2018, a third partner, Pieter and Jan Ruijs, also joined. And today, the dairy consists of 2 herds. And the idea behind the merger of the 3 farming units was to have specialization within a diversified farming with a responsible person for each branch. Pieter Steenkamp would like to share a few words with us. Thank you very much. No, yes.
Baie dankie. Ek het dit nie verwag nie. Ek wil ook sommer net almal wat nou van die span wat nou nie vandag teenwoordig is, bedank. Dit is soos om Etienne gesê, dit is maar 'n spansport en om 'n sukses daarvan te maak is 'n harde werk. En ek wil ook my vrou in haar wesigheid bedank want dis lang ure wat ons nie by die huis is nie en in daai tyd met sy na die kinders omsien. So ek dink die vrouens is die vergete spanspelers. So ek wil vir haar spesiaal dankie sê daarvoor. Baie dankie.
Now, it is time for the highly anticipated announcement of the 2024 ARC National Large Scale Master Dairyman of the Year. Our finalists this year are J.K. Basson Family Trust, Van Niekerk Boerdery BK, Foundation Farm, and Rhodes Food Group. Thank you to Joanne Isaacs, Chairperson of the ARC, and Dr. Lita Maginka of the ARC, who will present this award. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 ARC Master Dairyman Large Scale of the Year, with 2,124 cows producing 5,652 kilos of milk, a butterfat percentage of 4.85, a protein percentage of 3.73, and an intercalving period of 394 days. Congratulations to Barry and Jane Cheever of Foundation Farm. Please join us on stage. The Foundation Jersey herd started in Vienna in 1990 with only 20 registered cows. The goal was to produce high solid milk from quality cows, and they milk recorded from the start. The herd continues to grow well and has remained a closed herd. They now have approximately 1,500 cows in milk calving year-round. They milk in 2 dairies and currently supply Nestlé, Douglasdale, and Dairyland. Foundation Farm is strategically making use of advances in technology to improve efficiencies and growing a strong team of people within the business. Photo? Last photo? Congratulations to the Foundation Farm team. And please, would you like to share a few words? We would love that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We feel incredibly honored to be here today. And a big thank you to the ARC and all the sponsors for putting this together today. Without you, none of this would happen. I think it's also fair to say the milk recording has been a tremendous tool for us to get to where we are today. I see our semantics are not quite as good as I thought they were. Etienne's shown us that we've got a long way to go, but without the milk recording information and the history has helped us a lot in the drive-off procedure and treating cows individually to treat them and get the results we're wanting to grow our herd. It's I don't think without that tool I'd be able to cull cows. I think Jane, my wife, and my mother-in-law would not allow us to cull anything without the stacking history of the milk recording and helping us cull the right cows at the right time. So thank you to everybody. It really is a team effort, and everybody plays a vital role. We're able to be here today because the team is keeping things going. So a big thank you to the team. And beyond the team on the farm, the service providers around us too have offered tremendous support along the way and helping us keep a cutting edge as we go. So a big thank you there. I think a big thank you goes to Jane's parents too, Alan and Francis Webster. They have built a tremendous foundation for us and continue to be excited about growth where they could be slowing down and being able to enjoy more life. They're excited about growth and play an instrumental part of the growth of the business. So thank you very much to everybody around us. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the finalists and all the winners. We are nearing the end of our proceedings, and on behalf of the Agricultural Research Council, I would like to thank all the partners. There we have them. It would not be possible to have this competition and today's event without the support of these partners, including the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, Nedbank, Nova Feeds, Agri-Expo, CEMIC South Africa, Worldwide Sire South Africa, Meadow Feeds, Cheminique, Ecolab, and Axiota. Also, to the whole team of the Agricultural Research Council, everyone joining us today, also online. We would like to thank you, and in particular also Hendrik de Waal and his team, for their hard work behind the scenes. In closing, we would like to ask Jaheen Isaacs, the chairperson of the Agricultural Research Council, to share some concluding remarks with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say well done to all the finalists. I would like to say thank you to everybody that made time on a Wednesday. And I'm going to be very naughty. I mean, every shop on a Wednesday have specials for seniors. So what are we doing here? We should be in the shops. You'll notice there's a particular emphasis on senior. No, but seriously, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that, and I need to say it, because sometimes in South Africa, we get a bit uncomfortable when we have a competition. And there's winners and there is run-ups. Actually, competition is healthy because it allows us to measure ourselves and to improve industry standards, whatever it is. So I think we need to actually celebrate the fact that we can still have a competition and we learn from that process. So it's really important for me. But I think the other one is ARC, Agri-Expo, the sponsors, government, actually signifies quite an important partnership model. And so often we don't protect it and we don't nurture it. And we don't think about the legacy of that partnership model. And so it's important that when we look at this event, it's also to keep in mind how long it's been going and how many partners has joined this journey. We need to protect our partnership models. And I have a reason to say that, because there's 6 new key priority areas from the Minister of Agriculture. I don't have to add that Minister of Agriculture, Land Affairs and Rural Development. We're hoping very shortly the divorce will go through. So it will be only the Minister of Agriculture. And he's actually challenged us, but also confirmed the 6 things he wants to focus on. And a funny thing is when I was looking at this event, there's a number of synergies already. The first one is partnerships we need to focus on to make agriculture work. But we also need to work on advocacy. Now, people, water, land, electricity, all falls outside the domain of agriculture. But unless we have good relations, we can't do agriculture. So how do we actually engender that working relationship? And this is not just in government. This is even up to municipal level. It's different places and people that make decisions. Biosecurity, I think, especially for the dairy industry and for the animal industry, it's really important as a key priority. Farmer support, we still need it at different levels. Food security. We've talked about milk today. Milk is one of the products that is key in the development of people in our country. Food, we need to grow, we need to think. Without food, your brain doesn't develop. Let's not go there. It's a horrible, horrible scenario if we don't get it right. The other one is market access, and the other is regulation, legislation, and environment. So those are the 6. Not going to bore you with all the detail. What is important, and for the industry and even for the dairy industry, is the master plan remains the strategic guiding document for the agricultural sector. So for those of you who haven't read it, it's okay. Just go and read the part on animals or on dairy. But go and figure out where you fit in, because it's not going to change the hymn book. We might change the tune a bit. So it's something to think about. So ladies and gentlemen, just 3 messages. From all of that, just 3. Want to say to the participants, well done, congratulations, and your hard work and perseverance has paid off. So I'm hoping maybe next year we'll see the same faces, maybe different, because competition is healthy. For the dairy industry, the following. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. And then the last one, change brings opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I think we're ready for a change of program. Isabel, to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. And on behalf of the Agricultural Research Council, I would like to thank each and every one of you and everyone who joined us online, especially also our partners. This would not be possible without you. And remember the words of Confucius, let's plant rice and trees and keep on inspiring a next generation of farmers. Hamba, kakushle, mooi loop, goodbye. Until next year, Supinde Sibunane. And now, let's celebrate with our recipients. And let's give them one last round of applause. Thank you very much. Yeah, lunch will be served shortly, and we would like all the winners to join us on the stage for some photos. And some of the partners too. Well, all of them will find you. We know everyone is not fond of photos, but we will find you. Thank you very much.